Good morning, my fellow Canadians. Well, this is unusual for me, two posts in the space of 2 days, but I had to share with you some information and incidents that I was made privy to. My sister lives in Victoria, BC. There's a hotbed of loony left liberalism, right? I mean, everybody knows BC as being under the thumb of the moronic left for God knows how long. They had a protest in Victoria, a freedom rally in Victoria, protesting the government's COVID measures. This was what my sister told me. She went there, she was almost in tears. It was so inspiring to see in Victoria, of all places. One ignorant obstructionist, agitator, deliberately found himself high ground where he could be above the crowd. And he was, the whole rally, he was doing this to the truckers as they went by. And if it was a low, let's say, pickup truck, he'd get down where he could so that they could see the double-barreled middle fingers on his part. What I found most wonderful, everybody just ignored him. Did you get it? Nobody pulled him down. Nobody beat the snot out of him, which in my opinion, he richly deserved. Oh, he was masked, of course. And triple jabbed. You can bet the farm on that. Was he a paid agitator? Was he just a brain dead idiot? I don't know. What I love is nobody engaged with him at all. That was, I thought I'd share with you. That's Canadianism. That's the kind of freedom rally that we want. Look what's happening in Ottawa. I just spent the most uplifting 50 minutes of the last 2 years watching the interview with the Freedom Rally organizers and the media. And with the media, I mean real media, not CBC, not the Star. They were deliberately excluded. They were told, we don't want you there. Because you know that especially these two, City TV, Global, all of these, if they had an interview, they would edit the clips, edit what was said to support their narrative or to paint these organizers as white supremacists or whatever. They had True North. They had Rebel News. The questions asked were intelligent and reasonable. The responses were intelligent and reasonable. And the people, the organizers of this convoy, were honest and forthright. This is what journalism should be. They are the epitome of Canada and Canadianism. They are the epitome of common sense, reason, logic, fairness, the values of Canada that the Liberal government have been throwing down the toilet. What was interesting, Tom Quiggin was there, and I like his stuff, and he had some very, very interesting, it's near the end of the interview, very well worth the watch and the listen. I cannot urge everybody who loves freedom and who believes in this country to watch this in its entirety. It is the best 50 minutes you will spend. I'm not ashamed to say I started to tear up. My eyes started to prickle because I didn't think I'd see the day when there was even a hope that Canada could get back to the Canada I knew, the Canada I loved, the Canada I served. And there it is. Now, for the first time in 2 years, I actually have hope that I may live to see a return to a responsible government, a return to Canadian values, a return to pride in our country and our place in the world. We are inspiring the world. Canada is inspiring the world. Mainstream media is being deathly silent. One of the things I would love to bring up, I brought up in yesterday's post my fear that different government agencies or entities would attempt to embed agitators and violent agitators into this rally, to demonize it, to marginalize it. Because, like I said yesterday, and I won't repeat this, the mainstream media, miracolo, would be right there if violence broke out. Somehow they just happened to be right there where the cameras were. I attached to my Facebook page a post from Brussels where the violence that was captured by the media in what was a peaceful protest looks totally engineered with government compliance and government actions. It's a compelling video. We are not that far down the rabbit hole yet, but I still saw this as being entirely possible. So the reason I bring this up is there was some moron with a Confederate flag, and we all know how that can trigger some people, but there was a moron with a Nazi flag, a swastika. You know what the organizers have done? And the people from this rally, they've put out a reward. They started $1,000 to anybody who will identify him. People have been donating. It's up, the last I saw, to $3,500 to anybody who will identify this little prick. Now, cooler heads notwithstanding, I would have had to exercise every bit of self-control I possess if I'd have seen this little son of a bitch. Not to rip the flag out of his hands and beat him until his fucking eyes bled. Because if he was not a paid agitator, he was, I won't say mentally retarded, he was undeserving of any form of respect or consideration of any kind. And maybe, just maybe, there are some people out there, reason, logic, fairness don't work. And the only thing you can do, beat the ever-loving piss out of them. Maybe not change their mind, but it'll keep them quiet and prevent them from spewing out more garbage. And I hate to promote violence or sound like I'm promoting violence, which I am, but my own life experience bears out the fact that there are some people who richly, richly deserve to have the ever-loving piss kicked out of them. We are at the forefront, Canada is at the forefront now, of maybe, definitely a national, definitely a continental wave of common sense, of fairness, of a return to what a government is supposed to be. So I urge you, if you love this country, if you truly love this country, get behind these truckers, get behind this freedom rally. Because they're not doing this for them, they're doing it for you. And I address this to every Canadian and every American and every freedom-loving individual around the world. They are speaking for you. The least you could do is speak for them in return. Now, I don't think that's too much to ask. I came up with a quote off the top of my head when I was talking to my sister. And I'd like to see this get legs and make the rounds. You stand for all freedoms, or you don't stand for freedom at all. Something to think about. God bless Canada, and God bless everybody out there who believes in the freedom that God has given us.